Look at this photo. Now this one. And this one. Notice something? Some people always end up in the center. Others push to the edge. This isn't random. Your position in photos reveals your exact place in the social hierarchy. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at group photos the same way again. Have you ever scrolled through old photos and noticed you're always standing in the same spot? Maybe you're the person who somehow ends up in the center, commanding attention. Or maybe you're that person on the edge, barely making it into the frame. According to psychological research on social hierarchy and group dynamics, where you stand in photographs is not a coincidence. Your brain is constantly calculating your social status, and it shows up in the most subtle ways, including where you position yourself when someone says, "Let's take a photo." Research from the National Center for Biotechnology Information shows that humans naturally organize into hierarchies within seconds of group formation. And group photos? They're a frozen snapshot of that invisible pecking order. Let's start with the most obvious position, the center. If you're consistently in the middle of group photos, psychology says you're likely displaying what researchers call dominant signals. Studies on postural expansiveness, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, found that people who occupy central positions in groups demonstrate higher social confidence and perceived leadership. But here's what's interesting. Being in the center doesn't always mean you want to be there. Sometimes the group places you there. Think about wedding photos. The couple is always centered. Company photos, the CEO takes the middle. This is called assigned status. The group acknowledges your position by literally positioning you in the center. However, there's a difference between earned center and assigned center. People with genuine social dominance in the center have open body language. Arms slightly away from their body, shoulders back, taking up space. Those who feel uncomfortable in the center, watch their body language. Arms close to their body, slightly leaning away, forced smile. The position says leader, but the body says uncomfortable. Now let's talk about the edge position, and this is where it gets fascinating. If you find yourself consistently at the edge or corner of photos, you're displaying what psychologists call peripheral positioning. But before you think this is negative, listen to this. Research on social dynamics shows that people who position themselves on edges often have what's called an observer personality. You're not less confident, you're strategically positioned, you can see the entire group, you can make a quick exit if needed, you maintain control while appearing to give it up. This is actually a power move disguised as submission. Many highly successful introverts, strategic thinkers, and even people with high emotional intelligence prefer edge positions. Why? Because you can observe group dynamics without being the center of attention. You're gathering information, reading the room, understanding power dynamics. While everyone else is performing for the camera, you're analyzing. But there's a difference between choosing the edge and being pushed to the edge. Confident edge dwellers have relaxed body language, genuine smiles, and they're slightly angled toward the group. Uncomfortable edge dwellers, they're angled away, arms crossed, or partially cut off from the frame. One says, "I choose to observe," the other says, "They forgot about me." The back row position is one of the most misunderstood in photo psychology. If you're always in the back, conventional wisdom says you're shy or have low status. But research on spatial hierarchy tells a different story. Studies on group organization show that back row positioning often indicates a protective or supportive role in the hierarchy. Think about it. In family photos, who's in the back? Often the parents, literally standing behind their children. In team photos, the tallest members, creating structure for the group. Back row people are often the stabilizers, the ones who make sure everyone else looks good, the ones who hold the group together from behind. This is actually a high status position in many cultures. Think of bodyguards, security details, or tribal elders who stand back to oversee. The key difference? Height and posture. Confident back row people stand tall. They're visible over everyone's shoulders. They project presence even from behind. Uncomfortable back row people? They're hunched, partially hidden, trying to disappear. One says, "I support this group." The other says, "Please don't notice me." The front position, and I mean really front, like leaning into the camera, reveals something psychology calls attention-seeking behavior, or status anxiety. But it's not as negative as it sounds. Notice how in group photos, children always push to the front? That's natural attention seeking. It's developmentally appropriate. But when adults consistently position themselves in front of others, blocking people, leaning in excessively, it signals something deeper. Research on social dominance shows that people who feel their status is threatened often overcompensate by physically pushing forward. It's not confidence, it's anxiety about being forgotten. True confident people don't need to push to the front. They naturally command attention wherever they stand. But there's an exception, the genuine enthusiast. This is someone who's so excited about the moment that they naturally lean in. The difference? Authenticity. Their joy is contagious. Their smile is real, and the group welcomes their energy. The anxious attention seeker? The group subtly resists their push forward. And then there's the ultimate position, not being in photos at all. If you're the person who always volunteers to take the photo or suddenly disappears when cameras come out, psychology has something to say about this. Consistently avoiding photos can signal several things: high self-consciousness, fear of judgment, or what's called image anxiety, the fear that you don't measure up to your own standards. Research shows this is more common in people with perfectionist tendencies or those who've experienced social rejection. But here's the empowering reframe. Some people who avoid being in photos are actually the documentarians of their social circles. They're not avoiding. They're choosing to preserve the moment rather than be in it. This is a form of service. They're saying, your memory matters more than my image. However, if you're avoiding photos due to insecurity, consider this. One day, people who love you will wish they had more photos of you. Not the perfect you, just you. Your presence matters more than your appearance. So, can you change your photo position? Absolutely, because here's the secret. Your photo position reflects your perceived status, not your actual worth. And perception can be shifted. Start by being intentional. Next group photo, consciously choose a different position. If you're always on the edge, try moving closer to center. If you're always in the back, step forward. Your brain will feel uncomfortable at first. That's normal. But remember, confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's action despite discomfort. Most importantly, work on the internal hierarchy. How you value yourself determines where you stand. When you genuinely believe you deserve to be in the frame, in focus, and taking up space, your body will naturally position itself accordingly. So next time someone says, let's take a photo, pay attention to where you instinctively move. It's telling you something about how you see yourself in the world. And remember, every position has power. It's all about how you occupy it. If this changed how you see group photos, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment telling me which position describes you. I read every single one. And check the description for the research sources behind this video. See you in the next one.